Gas is cheap now, but I'm broke now, so. Find a superior grocery store to I want one of those whole chickens from Superior. Seem like Superior, they use better seasoning than the average whole chicken you can get at Ralph's. I know what's that? Costco. They got some pretty good whole chickens. But I mean, somewhere that's kind of in my area. Costco's is kind of out of my reach right now. Even though I don't mind having to travel to get something that I want. I know a lot of people will probably say that doesn't make sense. Well, a lot of people ain't buying my food, so I don't really care what makes sense to them and what doesn't. I just really want to see, like, you know, for other people, how many times do you see FedEx, UPS, or postal trucks? How many times a day do you see them? Because then that would further let me know if I'm just tripping. Because like I said, I know I smoke, but I don't smoke that kind of weed. I can't afford that kind of weed to just have me tripping on regular stuff. It's like everywhere I go, like, you know, there's a FedEx truck, a postal truck, or a trash truck. So how many times a day do you see? I mean, I remember driving prior to these incidences, and I never used to see them like that, especially like every destination I go to. I never used to see them. Trying to be right by my side in traffic. They make it a point to try to be right next to me in traffic. So you got my Nintendo Switch? I mean, like, why are you following me? Because that ain't gonna shut me up. Only thing that's gonna shut me up is my $300 back or my gaming console. That's the only thing that's gonna shut me up. You ain't intimidating nobody because, well, I mean, I don't know why FedEx is bothering me, but that's not intimidating nobody because the Postal Service, the dude who's supposed to be delivering mail or whatever, he stole my console, a postal worker, and he lied and said he delivered it, and he didn't give it to me. He either threw it away, kept it for himself, or gave it to somebody else, whatever. So again, until I get my console or at least my money back, I'm not gonna shut the hell up. I'll tell my mama, I'll put it in my will, write that on the top of my casket. The Postal Service stole my mail and then lied about it. They didn't try to help me out at all. They didn't investigate this piece of crap who stole my my mail. They didn't do any of that. All I get is a bunch of delivery trucks trying to follow me for some reason. It's really stupid, but again, that's not gonna shut me up. So you can kiss my ass, really, you can. Or you could just give me what's rightfully mine, and then we can forget about all of this. I guess. You should forget about it anyway, because it didn't even cost me more than $300. So why are you making me make such a fuss over $300? What the fuck? Like, dude, come on. I hate when they tell me to call the police. First of all, the police ain't never been on my side, for one thing. I don't care how much it cost or didn't cost. They're not gonna help me. Even if they would, though, I'm not calling the police over a $300 video game. That's not what the police is for. I wouldn't do that. This is what street? Obama? Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. That's abusing, you know, the right to call 911. I don't know, but I wouldn't do that. Now, yes, it's very frustrating when you order something and they don't give you your package. That's super frustrating. But there should be ways to, you know, well, I'm pretty sure there are, but when you have dickheads who are behind the counter and they can abuse their power and don't get in trouble for it, then what's the protocol for that? Again, they just tell you to call the police. Really? Like I said, my life was in jeopardy, and I called the police, and I guess they were at Dunkin' Donuts or something. They were doing something way more important than trying to help save my life. Why in the hell would I call the police over a $300 game? Honestly, it doesn't even matter what was in it. I ordered something, I didn't get it, the postal worker lied about it. That's it. But on the average, like, you just driving around your hood like I am, because I really don't have a choice, because, you know, rent's so high. Honestly, it's because I was in a program that's like a division of Section 8. So I didn't have full-blown Section 8, excuse me, but it was like a division. It wasn't low-income housing. It's what was called SRO, single room occupant. And I was in the most crappiest part of downtown LA. It's almost like the toilet bowl of downtown LA. But at the time, having a place to live is just having a place to live. It was a nice building. When I moved there, it was a nice building. I had already been down there hustling, so I had like a lot of friends and stuff down there. So, I didn't even know that one day I would be living there, which it didn't matter, because like I said, it was a roof over my head that I could afford. So it didn't even matter. But the thing is, people don't want you to have nothing. You know, if you show any kind of potential of trying to better yourself. Those places, and this particular building, I'm not saying all SROs are like that. This particular building, you know, it was like a launch pad. It was like, you know, something to get you started. So I definitely stayed down there too long. I can admit that. I stayed down there too long because at first I wasn't in a rush to move. I was comfortable. Like I said, I had all my friends down there. You know, I was comfortable. So yeah, I can admit I did stay a little bit too long. But when I did try to, you know, move on, I had saved up money from the corona relief. I had saved up money from that. And when I tried to move on, the counselor, because you have counselors and stuff, she told me, and this is a black lady, so these black people doing this, she told me that I would need double the money that I had. At the time, they said you only needed $2,000 to move out and be in good standing with the building and, you know, things like that. And I was. And I had the $2,000 because I had saved my money from the corona, with the pandemic money. I saved that because I was still working, and fortunately, I was still able to work even during the corona. So I didn't have to spend that money that I got from the government. But I was going to use that money to move. That was my whole entire plan. So when I went to them and said, I have the money, I'm ready to move, she told me and gave me a little checklist. I still wish I had that checklist. I don't know what I did with it. But she told me that, you see it like everywhere I go. It's like all along the way. You'll see this. Anyway, she told me that I needed $4,000 to move. Then she said I would need to go, I should, this was, she told me I should go to the mental health office. Oh my freaking God. Go to the mental health office. Go to, she told me to, or go to another shelter. And I'm thinking to myself, why in the heck would I do that when I already have a place to live? What kind of mess is that? And then after that, I tried calling other people. I tried to get this resolved and they just did not answer the phone. I have a real easy phone number. So whenever, you know, like to remember. So whenever you see my phone number on whoever's caller ID, you already know it's me. I didn't know anybody close enough to me where I could be like, let me use your phone. Because then too, even if I did that, they would take note of whatever phone I used and start blocking that phone number. So I didn't think, of course you could say, well, use somebody else's phone. That's not gonna work. Them people really didn't want me to advance. They didn't want me to be anything. And literally I had nothing. All I had was my car that I had paid off, and my job that I'm getting paid under the table. So it's not like I'm getting, you know, paying taxes or anything. You know, I'm hustling here. I'm trying to put myself on a better pedestal, or platform rather, not a pedestal, but like a platform. So I can be in a position where I can pay taxes and do things like, I'm trying to grow. And they're doing everything in their power to stop me. Black people, this is who's doing this. So I had no choice but to just not pay rent, because the person that lived above me was constantly harassing me over what you have a better idea than I do, because I still don't know. At first I thought it was maybe my music was too loud. So I would turn down my music. Sometimes I wouldn't even put it on a speaker. I would just let my cell phone play, you know, without adding enhancements. Just, you know, kind of let it play by itself. He would still stomp on my ceiling, which my ceiling is his floor. So he would stomp really loud, you know, and nobody never tracked him for this. I made dozens of complaints. I've written grievances, everything. Nobody checked him for this. So they thought they was gonna raise my rent. And I mean, you can raise the rent, but I need to move to another unit so I'm not being bothered by this guy. Because if you want me to pay more money, that means I have to work. Well, I was already working, but I'm saying I gotta work for that. So I'm not finna, get up early and, go to work, bust my butt, and then come back home to this harassment. I'm not doing that. So I don't mind paying more money, but you're going to have to tell dude to chill. They didn't want to do that. I guess they wanted to play on my mental stability and just let this man drive me up a wall. He kicked in my door like 3 different times. He kicked in my door. Kicked it in like he's a SWAT team or something. Kicked in my door. They did nothing about it. How on God's green earth you think I'm finna pay for that? I'm not paying for that. They constantly changed managers. So this person, I don't know where this girl came from, but she claimed to be the new manager. She went into my apartment when I wasn't home. She told me. When I came home, she asked me if I had been home yet. I said no. She said, I went into your apartment for a so-called inspection. I never got a notice for this inspection. She had no right to go into my apartment when I wasn't home, but she did. The maintenance crew messed with the lock on my door, and that's how they were able to get there. Just like I said, every destination, everywhere I go, a mail truck, a UPS truck, or some kind of truck, every destination. I just want to know, how many of y'all this happens to? Because like I said, somebody went under one of my videos. I don't even make videos for entertainment. I make videos for protection. But somebody felt the need to leave a comment under one of my videos saying basically, I didn't read all of it because you have to be out of your mind, but they said that I was crazy to think that a government worker would tail me, track me, whatever. I don't know. But making it seem like I'm the one that's crazy. Really? Now the UPS trucks are doing it. I don't get it, because my beef was never with UPS or FedEx. So I don't know why they're harassing me like so. I have no idea. Everywhere I turn, like I said, every destination I go to, a UPS truck, a FedEx truck, a cop car, or something, or whatever. So when I say my package didn't get delivered, but they claimed it was, who's the one playing games, me or them? They're the one following my every move. I can't take a shit without them being somewhere in this vicinity at all. And like I said, could you just give me my stuff so I don't have to care what y'all do? And you don't have to care what I do? You can either give me my money back or give me my package. And all of this don't even have to go on. Not even a little bit. It's like they on patrol or something. From who? Y'all stole from me. And I'm not saying FedEx and UPS in particular, but the Postal Service stole my stuff and lied about it. Why are you patrolling me?